It can make you remember stuff that normally you couldn't remember.
That isn't real. What it does change, however, which I thought was fascinating, is it changes your confidence in the memory. So your memory is no more accurate, but you think it's much more accurate. So all the stuff, that's what I was hoping for. Past life regression, improved memory, stage hypnosis, all of that total bullshit. But then, you want to go in and make some sort of big statement. And when you get to what is the state that we call hypnosis? What does it mean? What does it accomplish? The only real answer right now is I don't know. The strongest that you can say is, and neither does anyone else.
Right.
But that's as strong as you can get.
Yeah, because there's this misconception that it's, the old lightning bolts coming out of the fingertips into the eyes, and they do that pinwheel thing. Or is it
a lot of people still believe that?
Yeah, still believe in that.
Or the hypnodisc.
Yeah.
You bought a hypnodisc in order to get laid when you were young.
And
that'll work.
I could get her.
I got my X-ray specs so I can see her tits ahead of time. Then my hypnodisc.
A relaxed state. Or just a complete relaxed state of mind where you can maybe clear out the stresses and think a little better.
A feeling that's never been felt in this room.
Exactly,
by anyone.
Yeah. No,
heterosexuality?
Well, what are you going to do, Jim?
What is it that I think when I was a kid, I went in school, they had a guy come in, or wherever it was, where they make you not remember a number between 1 and 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember being very frustrated counting to 10 and knowing something was wrong, but like doing it on my fingers and coming up one short. And I don't know. Obviously, I knew the number.
Were you Jerry Garcia in a previous life?
Fingers.
I don't remember what is that? It's got to be some sort of there's something to it.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we just don't know. I mean, I have this sense that there's a pretty easy explanation, but there wasn't really a thing we could land on. We couldn't just land on the tonic at the end like we like to.
What kind of subjects you getting on season 8?
Season 8, we're doing the aforementioned cheerleaders and vaccines.
Of course.
And we're also doing self-esteem, the whole self-esteem movement, which is insane, the trophy generation.
Right.
We have such great footage of
where everyone gets a trophy.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time.
It's
no
insane.
Winners, no losers. They don't even keep score, all that crap. Right?
Oh yeah, or they keep score and then still celebrate the losers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's phenomenal. We're doing that one, and we're also doing fast food, which after all the stuff about we have wonderful this whole movement to get all the calories up for fast food, especially in New York, all of this stuff. And the fact of the matter is that the fancy restaurants, the really expensive restaurants, are putting 2 sticks of butter in every single thing you eat. You get lima beans, there's 2 sticks of butter in it. The calories are through the roof, but the do-gooders are all fucking rich.
Right.
So they just push this. So the fast food episode is really good. And for the first time ever, we get accused all the time. All the time we get accused of, they're in the pocket of this corporation or that corporation, or they get free shit for doing this, or they're being bought off. In the fast food episode, for the first time, someone really did give a shit. Carl's Jr. actually gave us hamburgers. It was the greatest thing in the world. We were actually bought off by Carl's Jr. And the CEO of Carl's Jr. comes on the show. And we're saying to him, you're the CEO of a big company. Don't come on a show called Bullshit. Who are your fucking advisors?
Yeah, really.
We're trying to be helpful to them,
You don't want to do this.
Don't talk to them. I mean, here's my advice to anyone who's asked to do the show Bullshit. Don't. we're honest. We're good guys, but don't go on a show called Bullshit.
But you will always get them on. It's just, they feel compelled. Is it more that they want to give their point of view, or they just want to be on TV?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at that. One way is to think that they believe they're right, and the other way is to think. But the amazing thing is, they did this show on, I think, A&E or something that was on Nostradamus. 100% bullshit, Nostradamus. All the predictions.
Yeah.
And they were doing a pro-Nostradamus show. Just total pro right away. And they called us up to be the villains. We were going to be the guys that came on and said it was bad, and then they were going to come back and say, the A&E equivalent of shut up, asshole.
Yeah.
And go on and prove it. And we didn't hesitate to go on. We said, if you don't take us out of context and we get to make our point. We believe we're right. We believe we can make the point. And I like to think if there were, for instance, a hardcore Christian or Catholic version of bullshit, which I don't know what that would be called, hooey, I suppose, we would go on. I would go on and make an atheist case and then have them come back and say, then there's this asshole and throw it to me and say it. I think if you sincerely believe that what you're saying is right and you're talking about a marketplace of ideas and the people on the other side say, we're going to make fun of you, we're going to rip you a new asshole, we're going to do this, 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 and this. But for the 4 minutes that you're on, you'll make your point clearly and we won't, no, not Michael Moore, not, Sacha Baron Cohen, but you can just say it. I think I would do it. Sure. And in my happier, more positive moments, I like to think that's the reason people do it. But I also know that people will, blow dogs for wine change if they'll be on a reality show. So there's the more cynical way to look at it too. You get both choices.
Who was Nostradamus then? 'Cause it probably was bullshit, but like he said, Hister. Like how was that just
the river Hister will overflow its banks?
Did he say that, or did he mention Hitler by name, but off by one letter? It's all crap.
He mentioned the river would overflow its banks at some point, and they go, "Oh, that's clearly Nazi Germany." The thing about a prediction is you should be able to understand it before the thing happens.
Not rationalize what it means after the fact.
After the thing happens, it's really a piss poor prediction.
You could turn anything into a prediction afterwards.
If you take, on 9/11. Bob Dylan's album Love and Theft was released on 9/11, during which he talks about clearly New York City and airplanes going down in D.C. And the poetry around it, if you separated that by 200 years, would look like he was predicting. The quality of poetry is such that you're dealing with high-level abstractions that are true to the human heart, and human beings are pattern-finding animals. So you're going to be able to do that. So really, the better the poetry, the more it seems predictive. We've all had the experience of going through an emotional love relationship and turning on the radio, and the song is absolutely about you. Now, it turns out it's Don Henley. You're embarrassing, and you'll never admit that to anyone as long as you live, but you felt it.
Boys of Summer? Yeah. Boys of Summer.
Great. It's like...
He's talking to me.
It does. It makes complete sense.
So Don Henley did her, too. Amazing. In your car going, God damn.
I got to ask him about martial arts. What's bullshit about martial arts? What's wrong with
bullshit
you?
about martial arts is it's fine.
It's going to be in the new episode,
If you see
the new season.
If you see his exercise, and you see it as, having a good time, if you think it's self-defense, you're out of your mind. How many times have you...
Mars is one of those guys.
That's right. What do you think of that, queer?
You can't do shit.
You can't fuck us up.
Well, all I want to ask you is, how many headlines have you seen?
Oh, boy, you asked him a question? This isn't going to go
How many headlines have you seen
He doesn't speak
that
English.
say, mugging thwarted by martial arts training? Now, you've seen that more or less than the headline, psychic wins lottery. Which one do you see more?
Go ahead, Mars, answer.
I've seen a few articles about people.
You haven't.
Yes, I have.
Where?
There was There was an article recently that 5 guys dressed as ninjas stopped a mugging by running out on a college campus. But I think 5 guys running out dressed as, fairies would have stopped the mugging.
Yes.
The thing is, and if you do it with martial arts, the laws are exactly the same as if you shot somebody.
Yeah.
Except your hands hurt more. I mean, if you learn all this stuff and kill somebody with martial arts, you are still going to go up for manslaughter.
Yeah, you
don't really. But if you're talking about just, I want to hang out with other guys in a sweaty room and move around, there's also there's absolutely, and I didn't even know this, the belts mean nothing. There is no standardized...
Point at him. Mars.
Your belt means nothing. Hang yourself with it.
There is no standardization for
Ask
the
him
belts.
what
Is that
belt.
correct?
What belt you got? What do you got?
I'm a purple belt.
But the purple belt, depending on exactly what hojo you're in, depending on exactly the classes you're in, it means something different, not only state to state, but strip mall to strip mall. It means a different thing.
So black belt could be the first thing that you go through.
Well, no. It could
usually, always be like...
It's usually the same order.
But you can make it up, though, and just
Absolutely.
be like...
There's no regulations, basically.
Absolutely. You could have
standardized, right.
governing body over belts.
There is no governing body, and it's also completely an American invention.